What's up, guys? So today I want to do a quick video of my new acquisition here. This is a Gravely ZTXL 52. This is a 2016 model. This one is the one, or this one has the Kohler Command, or the Kohler 7000, like 25 horsepower engine. It has the 52-inch deck, obviously, and this is an aftermarket seat, and they didn't really put it on that well, so I need to probably just do a little something with that. This one has 222.3 hours on it currently. I just bought it like 2 days ago from a family friend. I paid $900 for it. I thought it was a pretty good deal for something like this. Just because when I was looking on Facebook Marketplace after he asked me if I wanted it, the cheapest one you could buy is like, you know, in my area is like $2,500 for a used one. So I thought this was a pretty good deal because like I said, he just basically hit me up and asked me if I wanted it, kind of because he was going to list it on Facebook, but he kind of wanted to give me first option. So like I say, after that I looked on Facebook. The cheapest one in my area is like $2,500, so thought it was a pretty decent deal. Only, like I said, the worst part about it is just it's set outside, and I have cleaned it up since I bought it, and I put like WD-40 on it, like the old trick to make it shine and stuff, and it, you know, it does look a lot better. But yesterday I did drive it and stuff, and I got it a little muddy because my yard is so wet, and it's so cool out here now and stuff. Like, I'm probably not even gonna cut the grass for maybe till next week, but that's kind of fine because it gives me some time to do maintenance on it instead. First thing I'm gonna do, it's got 222 hours on it. I'm not 100,000,000% sure if he's ever changed these oil filters and oil. Like I say, this is a hydro gear. I think this is it should be a 2800, I believe, and it does have the I don't think you're gonna be able to see it, but it's under like a cover right there, the filter. But yeah, so first thing I'm gonna do is you know, change those. I'm gonna go to Tractor Supply because that's where they sell. They sell these filters there, so it's easy, and it's the actual hydro gear brand filter, which that's what I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna cheap out and buy and try to save like $20 or something on and try to save, you know, $20 on $1,000 per axle. You know, like, you know, I'm just not gonna. I would rather spend the extra $20 just so I know I'm replacing it with all, like, pretty much the highest end stuff. Those other filters are probably okay, but for me to save $20 and risk it or something like, or even like a 5% or like a 1% risk, I'd rather just, you know, replace it with the OEM. So then, you know, after I do that, I'm probably going to change the regular engine oil as well. Change all the oil in the whole unit pretty much. You know, transaxle and engine. And then after that, I'm going to sharpen these blades just because they are very dull, and you know, they definitely don't cut that good right now. I tested it yesterday, and I tried to cut some of my neighbor's yard because mine is already too cut. And this thing, I had it on 3.25, but you know, I've been cutting mine like way too short, so it didn't take anything off. So I just had to go with my neighbor. I couldn't cut mine any shorter because it's already just I would have to probably scalp it almost if I did that. So I had to go into my neighbor's yard, and they haven't cut their grass and since since last year, I think. So it was like probably 10 inches tall, and this thing just, it went right through it. It didn't struggle, it didn't bog down or anything, but it just didn't cut that good. Kind of missed a few spots. Like I had to go over it like 2 times for it to get it all. But she's a beast. She's built. You can put all your weight on this deck if you want, and it's like it barely moves. This thing, yeah, she probably weighs about 150 pounds. So yeah, you probably don't want to have to take that thing off too many times. Maybe. If you can stand it up, which I kind of thought about standing on this beam, but I don't know about that shit. That thing might, that thing might take down the whole garage. So I'm gonna change the oil, and I'm gonna sharpen the blades. And then after that, I think she pretty much should be good. The only other issue was this wheel right here goes flat a little bit, but that's not like a huge deal. You just have to pump it up before you use it. For right now, it's not gonna hurt anything. So I'll get around to getting a new tire for that, because I'm not gonna put a tube in this thing. Just not gonna put a tube in that little small tire. I'm just not going to do that. Well, I'm actually not going to attempt to do it. But yeah, she runs good. She drives good. I love the way these things. I love Zero. I used to cut my grandfather's yard, and he has a Kubota 0-turn. And that's the one I like learned on, how to drive them and stuff. And ever since then, I'm like, I wanted something to that caliber, and this isn't, 100, like the one that he has a full commercial unit. So that one is like, maybe built a little bit better. But as far as I can tell with this one, it seems like it's pretty much on par with that Kubota. And the way it drives, really reminds you of a Kubota. I wonder, I don't know what hydro gear transmission is in the Kubota, but I kind of wonder if it's the same one. Because it kind of, to me, it feels the same, but, they probably all feel like that maybe. But yeah, she's a hell of a machine. I'm happy that I bought it. I think for $900. I think I definitely felt like that was a fair price for, like I say, for something like this. And I mean, I'm thinking and I'm hoping that this thing could last for at least 1,000 hours. Right now, like I say, it's only got 222. I think this thing is kind of just getting broken in. So hopefully she'll last me a long time. The only other thing I was having when I bought it, when I walked up to my family friend's house, he had the blades on, so I knew they worked. And then he cut them off or something, and I got on it and tried to drive it and stuff and tried to turn on the blades. And it just like bogged it down and killed it, when I turned on the blades. So, I was gonna start diagnosing that. But I had heard a few times before that, sometimes, the easiest thing to check, when you have a problem like that, the first thing, is, believe it or not, kind of like the battery, if it's too weak. And this only applies for the electric PTO. So you gotta have like this thing you pull. You know, it's not gonna be like the one like this where it's manual. So with these, because it's got electric PTO, the battery has to be like pretty strong and pretty like probably pretty new, I would think. But I'm a little bit confused about that, like I say, because he turned the blades on when I first got there, and then he cut them off, and then he cut the engine off, and then I started it and rode it and tried to turn the blades, and it cut off. And then, like I said, when I was thinking about it after I got home and watching a few little things, people were saying, like, check the battery, and stuff like that. And so I was like, before I went to bed that night, I just put it on the little trickle charger thing here. And the next day when I tried it, it was able to engage the blades like fine, and I went through like some tall, like some about like 10-12 inch grass, like, because my neighbor's yard hasn't been cut like yet this year, and my yard is too short really to cut right now. So I just figured to test it out and make sure it isn't gonna like bog down, when you're going through like the taller grass, because I had one before, like I had a Craftsman riding lawnmower that had this same sort of problem, and that was the same way. You try to turn on the blades and it would like really like put a lot of pressure on the engine and pretty much cut it off. But the difference was with that one is that when you tried to go through tall grass, even after you got the blades running, it just didn't, like, you start going through that hard grass and it would like choke the engine so bad and sometimes cut it off. But so far I don't think this one, and I pretty much attribute that loss of power, or that cutting off on the other one, to I was probably, that one had like some engine problem or something. I mean, because it probably wasn't running on one cylinder, and that was the reason why it didn't have enough power. But this one, I don't think that's the issue, because once you get the blades come on pretty quick now after I charge the battery and everything. I mean, it's very comparable to my grandfather's Kubota. So for right now, I think it's fine. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not gonna try to diagnose it anymore because it's working. So yeah. So that was the only other problem. So I think that that fixed it. I think I fixed that with charging the battery, and I actually switched the battery from the one I had in the Cub Cadet, because this is a pretty new battery that I just bought like last year, and it's kind of one of their more expensive batteries that you buy from Tractor Supply, which but so yeah, so far she's been good after that. I haven't tested it today because I'm going to change the hydro fluid first before I ride it again, and it's kind of a good time anyway for me to do maintenance on it and stuff, because it's wet outside and it is been raining a lot and it's cold. It's not cold, but it's not, our grass here is not going to grow that much until it gets probably to like 80 and the sun is like beating on it. So, because that's pretty much how like Virginia grass works. I'm not sure you know, other places and stuff. Other places, they say, I think, when it's cold, the grass grows even faster. And I guess depending on what kind of grass you got, I don't really know. But around here, it's not going to really grow that much right now because it's like, you know, like 60 degrees every day. So it's like, and it's going down in like 40s at night. So yeah, it's a good time to do some maintenance. Yeah, so I'll do the maintenance before I drive it again. And if anything else comes up after I do that, then we'll address it. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll have another one coming up soon, probably tomorrow. And I'm going to change this hydro fluid. And the only thing I have right now is this jack. So I'm just gonna jack it up right here, and then I'm gonna have to set on it. But I'm not gonna lift it up that far off the ground when I do it. But I might buy some jack stands and stuff too. I don't know yet. But hopefully, we probably could do it with just that. But I kind of want to be, I mean, you know, I might buy the jack stands just so I can have something on both sides just in case. You know, so other than that, I think that I will see you guys tomorrow when we do the hydros. Thanks for watching.